it thinking I need to help white folks like act better, treat us better. But then when I was in it, I realized that black folks, we needed to start talking. There was issues within our own communities, and we don't talk. And I grew up with the black family where all age groups would sit around and talk, and getting moved from the child table to the adult table wasn't just about an age thing. It was like, can you hold your own in this conversation? Like, can you speak on it? And so I just wanted us, so I've now just like indulged my passions that I'm kind of semi-retired and I made these cards called Truly, so we put our phones down, and now everybody's on their phones. When we talk, we're talking about like J-Lo, and I mean, we're not talking about real stuff, we're talking about like BS. And I think that black people think that like being black is a monolith, like we're like monolithic, like we don't hear other people's viewpoints, and even the ones on TV, to me, are all the same. Like, I don't know. So I created these Truly cards to gather people around so we get together and talk and have good discussions and hear what other people have to say and think about how we feel.
Is CP time real?
It's what?
Is CP is colored people time?
I live in Mississippi.
Or a
yes,
myth?
it is.
Is it real or myth?
It's real.
It's real.
Alright. Why does it exist? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm only gonna give you an example, and this is this morning. Checkout time today was 11 o'clock. My sister made me do a extended checkout, so I'm gonna blame it on her.
But wait a minute, did you take it?
Yeah,
Okay. You're welcome.
CP time is real.
Okay, does anyone I thought you
No,
said your head.
I'm gonna elaborate. I'm gonna tell you why CP time is real. It's for two reasons. Because first of all, black people love to make an entrance. And that's one reason. So we never want to be the first anywhere.
That's
Because we love to strut in like a peacock. You want to see what we're wearing. You know, nobody ever wants to be the first at an event or a party. So nobody ever wants to be the first. We always want to make an entrance. So that's why, like, if something starts at 7 o'clock, we're going to go in at 8 o'clock.
Well, but first of all, we think when someone says 7, it's really 8.
Yes.
Because of CP time.
Yeah, because of CP
And then it started at 8 for women.
But why can't it just be fashionably late? Why, you know, because why we have to have a term of,
I'm always.
it doesn't have to be just colored people though. I think it's just human nature.
No, we a little different.
It is a
We're a little different. So I think white everything starts on time.
Yes. Very close.
White people take, but this is the thing. I think that if we're being honest, well, let me say this: if you got beaten as a child, no, I'm just kidding.
I got beat.
When it comes to business, I am always going to be on time. I don't play that. My mom would like, I was just raised to be on time. I'm gonna show up to class on time. If it's something that is whatever, if it's my people and I'm relaxed, I'm like, I never show up like hours late. But I was there. I am.
But why though?
Why was I late?
No, why are you going to show up late?
Because I don't think things are going to start on time because that is part of our culture.
The expectation's been set.
The expectation has been set. And so, but I'll say this: if it's my thing, like I remember when I had like trainings and stuff, I'm like, we start at 2, no matter no one's on the Zoom call, we start. And I do because I think you train people. I think you teach people how to treat you. And when they know you're going to start regardless. But I do think if you've been to countries in Africa, if you've been to the Caribbean, it is in our roots.
That's where I was
going. It is.
That's
Everybody moves slow at their own pace.
Jamaica, everything is no worries, Mom.
No worries, right?
Yeah. But I used to work in internal audit at Verizon, and we had a Latin staff, a Latino staff. And we had a department in Mexico, and in Venezuela, and in Puerto Rico. We could never, if you say the meeting's going to start at 10 o'clock, it might not. Right. Because time is not a constraining factor for them. And I feel the same way.
Yes.
And I I agree with you 100%. It's in our DNA. Even though we have all these excuses about we want to be fashionable, some of that is heritage, and we didn't prescribe to time and to clocks from a, it's
so
like
true
animals
from the
have
beginning.
this whole, they have instinct and they do things over and over, and then we think we can just dismiss all those things that have happened in our past.
But professionalism and time,
Yes.
all of it, if you think about it, is a construct that was created by white people.
That's right.
Right, by the majority. And I think that some of us subscribe to it, and I think I subscribe to it when I have to, when I'm in a white setting, because I know that is what's expected of me. So how some people will say, I see, because I want to know. But what I'm trying to say to you, I'm not saying that we should not be on time.
No.
But I'm saying that I believe culturally,
I agree.
what is considered professional and right and how we act. When I go to these countries, it very much is. But whereas like you go to Hong Kong, everything's about efficiency.
Right.
Everything's about on time, fast. We're very much about connection and hey, I want to stop and buy you this pie before I got here, girl. Because I made this pie because I know Doug likes my apple pie, so I made this pie before I got here. And we are a people that is not based on constructs. Yet, I do think that's changing, but we ain't been free that long. I mean, what I'm saying is, we are becoming a part of it, but I don't think that's our normal thing.
I have two. So one, I went to Switzerland for work.
You went to
Switzerland for work years ago. And we had training classes, and our classes started at 8:30. I'm down there, to register people early, so registration is empty. And it's like they started coming in to register at the time the class started, and some of them was registering like an hour after.
And were these Swiss people?
Yeah, there were Swiss people, and then also other Europeans that had come into Switzerland for the class. And then also another thing, so in the U.S. when we, have those white people at those trainings, they're there at like 7:30.
Yes.
They gonna get their coffee, whatever. They're gonna be in the seat like this at 8:30.
Right.
Switzerland, I was actually frustrated because I was like, what? And then also lunch. We would have like a 30-minute lunch, right? Switzerland, they were like 30 minutes. They were out taking smoke breaks in the middle of the class. In the U.S., people go in those classes and they don't come out until you say break. They were like just coming out. Yeah, no, they were like, oh,
You're right. The good percentage of us who are late have not been to Switzerland, have not been overseas, have not been to these countries to see that culture.
That's real facts right there. Real facts. Right.
I said, the colored people who are historically late have not seen that atmosphere overseas where Switzerland walks in at registration at the start time and things of that nature. So,
but they don't have to see it if it's built into it.
But no, I disagree with you because I think it's a learned behavior.
Yes.
If you grew up, Randy talked about, your mother was everything was on time. And my family, everything was on time. So I know nothing else but that.
Right.
So it's a learned behavior. I don't think it has anything to do with a culture that we see and that we absorb.
So you learn that. Help me understand what you mean when you say learned behavior, because this is a learned behavior something that you're
real talk. Okay, if this is my crew up here in DC,
right,
and I know that we're meeting Sunday at noon, and y'all showing up 12:30 for the past month, then I know.
That's what you teach people how to do.
So that's a learned behavior.
Right.
30 minutes.
But you're saying it's a learned behavior, but you're limiting it to that one group that you hung out with, right? But everybody in that group was coming at 12:30. They learned it from someone else. Maybe it's their parents. Maybe. So I'm saying it perpetuates itself over and over and over again through the years. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying we can't break it. But I'm saying some things you have to understand why in order to break that cycle. Or you have to make a conscious decision to break that cycle.
Yeah, I feel like people should respect other folks' time.
I agree.
Yes.
For me, I know, hey, I have a mental limit in my head and how long I'll stick around.
Yes.
Mentally. Be present. I'm like, okay. Past a certain point, I'm like, oh, I'm not even there. I may be there
Check out.
in my body, but I'm not there because totally disrespected. Because if I'm spending the time to make sure that I'm getting there and doing whatever, like I had a situation went on today, right? 45 minutes late.
Right.
45 minutes, I'm peace, I'm out of here. Catch you later, whatever. It's not, that don't work.
So you see it as a form of, but is it, okay, I think it is
It's
disrespect
disrespectful.
a lot of times.
It's disrespectful.
But if that is culturally, I mean, there is culture, right? So,
There is culture.
So this is the thing, there's macro culture that comes from race, that comes from area you're in, that comes from everything. Then there's microculture, there's your family's culture, right? And so there's culture. And so your family's culture, microculture may conflict with the macroculture of black people.
Mine was late. This brunch was started at whatever time it started. Versus there's things when you have to be present from the start, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it.
I agree. That's kind of that him and Paul between us, where she moves a little bit different pace than I move. Would you agree?
But it's like that.
Who was like last night?
I think it's cultural too. Like you have military.
That's what I'm saying, that
Your
military,
family
that's
over
right.
time, and then you've got military on top of that. As a people, even if you think about HBCUs, I went to Tuskegee, but then I went to Auburn. Like Tuskegee is on like, hey, get on over here to the registrar when you can. Go put your money in your account when we get to it. Auburn is like, if they said it's gonna be on there on the 19th, 6:00 in the morning, you can check your account. It's there tonight. And so it's just, I think we're more, like Randy said, we're more social. We're more about making those relationships. White people, they be.
But you say it's gonna be at 6 o'clock.
I'm actually mad. If I say 6 and you show up at 6, I'm mad. I'm like,
That's why you're wrong.
No, what I'm saying.
You know me, and if I put 6 and you show up at 6, I'm not dressed.
Right. I met this young man. He was actually 10 years younger, so yeah.
look, Daddy's looking.
That's fine. That's gonna be G. Met this young man, we was talking and whatever, and I was telling him, I actually met him at New Year's Eve party and whatever, so he called me, was talking, he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm cooking. And at this time in my life, I would cook like for a holiday for myself. I would cook a turkey. I would, like I had family over, but I would cook for myself. And he was like, you having company? And I was like, no. He was like, man, I sure wish I could come over and eat, right? So I said, oh, okay, yeah, you can come. I said, dinner's at 5, right? Bro made the mistake of coming in at 5:45, and so when he came in, I was eating. And he said, "Oh man, you started without me." I said, "Dinner was at 5."
There you go.
Like so today, I want to watch the Dallas Cowboys. I'm watching the Cowboys. I want to watch football, right?
Yeah.
And so if everybody was like, okay, this is our second little tiny place, but everybody's like, well, we gonna come watch it with y'all. I'm like, okay, I'll be there around 6. If y'all should have been 7, I don't care. Because I'm not cooking nothing.
That's different.
I'm gonna order some
Then
whatever. But if it was like, because I ain't cooking for none of y'all, so you definitely want to eat this. But if it's like I am cooking a whatever, then that's different. But a kickback is different.
Right, so I think it's different levels of when we talk about, let's get back to the original root, CP. I think we judge it based on the event in a sense, because like, think about it, if you're presenting in a meeting, depending on the type of meeting, it's going to be some little BS or it's going to be like a real serious meeting. You should be on time.
Yes.
But if it's like, we just gathering, I just don't expect everybody to be
Okay, so if it's a social event, you come when you want.
right.
Is that what you're saying?
Not come when you want.
No,
But
you give me an hour.
I don't want somebody showing up for the truthing conversation like we said 12 and somebody shows up at 2.
Right.
Like,
So
no.
an hour? I mean, really, what's the window? 45 minutes?
No.
45 minutes is not.
I think it's nice to come
45
between
minutes, we've already
6:20,
established that.
Right.
If it's
It is.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But can I tell y'all something though? I do think we have to consider that we are a culture that works within another culture, the majority culture, we want to call it the dominant culture, whatever we want to call it. And I do think that when we get with our people, that there is a little like a little relaxation. And don't get me wrong, I think it causes us to treat each other disrespectfully at times. On all, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it causes us also to like bond. I think it goes both ways.
It's kind of that you treat the ones you love worse than
yes.
Can you be pro-black if you are married to a non-black person, or if you exclusively date non-black people? And this one spoke to me. I just grabbed it because listening to some people talk the last couple of days, how many of us now we deal with our children dating outside of our race, or it's just much more common than it was with us or generations past. So that was first.
Very show, because I love Trevor Noah. I love that man. I read his book.
Yes.
And on his very last show, at the very last thing, he came out and just said, I just got to thank black women. Yes. And he did this whole thing. But then a lot of black women came back because you know how we do. And they were like, but you won't date us.
Right. Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm just telling you what he has said.
What did he say?
Well, I don't think he responded at all. I think it was a smart idea for him not to.
Yes. Well, the words say you're attracted to what you're attracted to. My question is, why aren't you attracted to the people who birthed you, to the people who have been around you, the people who have raised you? I will see it as an offense, but I don't have a sense.
Like what you like.
Let me say this.
I would see it as an offense.
There is a female in my family, I won't say who for most of her adult life has only dated white men, because the few black men she dated, relationships didn't end well, so then it's that whole, can't get it right type thing. She has a son who is about to graduate from high school, and I am seeing in her now, because I'm in my family, I'm the one that's like, black men treated bad, the rest of my family is a little bit more, come as you are. You want to date this, and I'm not saying I don't accept that, but I am probably, my niece and I are probably the most pro-black. But this person is now, every time I talk to her, she now is much more in tune to what's happening in our community, and I think it's because she has this black boy that she's raised. He might be mixed, but he is still an African American, right? And she's much more in tune to that. So I think sometimes when you have these kids, it changes your perspective. And I don't even think she realizes it, but she'll say, "Did you see this that happened?" I'm like, "What is this coming from?" But I just engage her in conversation. But I think sometimes when you are in a mixed relationship, it can cloud your judgment if you don't have, like it's just you and this person. Yeah, you have to look at it from both sides. You have to look at it from both sides, and you have to.
I'm rough.
Yes,
I'm like, what is it that you don't love about yourself that you seek out in another race? That's where I go first.
I want you to hold that thought because I wasn't going to read this question. So I opened up the door. So here's the question I wasn't going to read. Why do you think more black men date non-black women than black women date non-black men?
That goes
and that's changing.
They don't do a neck roll. They don't do a neck roll.
So what is wrong with the neck roll? Why is that offensive?
Because somebody told us.
It's not offensive, but sometimes
because we can create roll
you have enough stress in your life anyway to come back home.
But you have done.
Don't make me be a Kevin Samuels. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
But you also generalize. I get that. Black women can be that.
I've had you before. Sometimes you don't want to hear it.
I would say, well, I would only date white men because I need to make sure somebody got a job.
That's right.
I need to be with somebody that I know can support me.
He said,
No, what I'm trying to say is, all right, I don't got no baby mamas out there, which is not. What I'm saying is I don't know what happened. Well, we don't have two questions down there.
Black men are not bothered by
Let me
it.
say this.
If you say
Oh, they're
that
very bothered. No, trust me.
About
They're saying that. If she said she don't know they white men.
Let me say this.
Nobody be bothered by it.
Let me see where those questions came from. I will say that since I've had Randy B, and Randy B wasn't just a truly card, but where I was reaching out to the black community and we were having conversations, the thing that shocked me the most, I was naive about, had no idea, were the issues between black men and black women.
Yes.
Because I didn't know that there was some resentment, some anger, some issues, some hate, some whatever between black men and black women. I did not know. I had no idea. If it weren't for social media, I went to Tuskegee University. I grew up on Hampus campus. I've been around black men who love black women and black women who love black men. I honestly did not get. I mean, I think that's the most still, but I'm saying I did not get. There's some real anger underlying shit, right? That's there. I didn't know. I'm telling y'all, I had no idea. But back to the original question, I just want to throw in there Harry Belafonte is only dated a white woman. Martin Luther King was engaged to a white woman, and that's when he met. Coretta Scott was his wife. Frederick Douglass, so, and are these, actually, I feel like the people who are some of our biggest activists, our biggest, most prominent men have been with white women, so that's why I feel like the question is confusing, is can you be down? It's under no circumstances in my life, and I'm saying this plain, no circumstances, that I would not choose a black man.
Amen.
I have, and this is no, there is nothing more, and I'm not saying, no, there is not, with a black man, when I look at black men, you are the most beautiful, I'm sitting there, with this beautiful
Because that's what you like. Now, if a man had said something like, there is no way that I would not.
I did not say.
And I don't understand why a man or a woman would limit themselves anyway.
No, I'm not saying I would limit myself. It's nothing.
Or choose one over the
There is
other.
nothing that made me say.
I love black women, but I see some fun.
No, but what I'm saying is I have never seen a white man, a Latino man, an Asian man that does for me what a black man does. It's not.
And that's your preference. That's the thing. That's your preference.
But I believe, and I believe this from my heart, I was raised in a household that my parents worked so hard to make me believe that my black skin was gorgeous, and I think anything black off the top, because you thinking white people are better, you thinking that black people are better. I'm just is brainwashing. I tell people, I said the greatest marketing campaign that ever existed on this world is for white women. If every princess growing up, every book I ever read, the princess was white, and every magazine, every commercial, was superior, including black women. We all think that white women at some point, if we are not getting counter-educated, are better. I would expect us to think that, because that's why we're both talking.
If you meet a person, I think it varies based on that person, right? Like, so whether it be white woman, black woman.
You said attraction. I'm saying for me to even be attracted to get to that point, nobody.
Hold on. Time out. You just said you were attracted to the young man you were introduced to the first night, but after you talked.
Right, but when I saw his picture of him, I was attracted to him. He was a black man. I'm attracted to black people.
But then you were interested.
I know you didn't think that is black. It's just natural for me as I am attracted to men and not women. It's the same thing. It's not just, and I'm okay with people love is love and you're attracted to who you're attracted to regardless of gender, but I am saying to you, I'm attracted to a man immediately the same reason I'm not attracted to a woman immediately. It is just, it's not because I say, oh, this person's a man, so I must be attracted to this person. It's just naturally in me. But I can understand being in love with
I said physically. Physically. All things being equal. You got a black woman and a white woman. Which one are you more physically attracted to?
I don't think they know.
The gorgeous one.
I don't think they know.
It doesn't.
The sexiest one.
So it's a difference between being attracted to something
Each woman is
and
not.
whether being engaged with.
That's why I said all
I'm
things being
attracted
equal.
to
If they
more
both
black
have
women than I am to white women. Make sure y'all understand.
I understand.
But it just.
They're gonna make you kick
On the
the
line,
brother.
the line up is gonna-
That's true. Basically, what you said, what you're attracted to, what you desire. You don't see, and there's a difference. And we're conditioned by media
That's right.
as to what we're conditioned by what we think will elevate us.
It's not just about women.
And it's about everything. Yes. Exactly.
Like, we have to admit, all of us. I try to ask myself, that's what we just talked about. I have to ask myself, do I like this? Because I've been conditioned that this brand is better. Right? Or do I like it because, it smells good. I'm going to get some of that product.
But I think we still have to go back to what Ben said earlier about black women holding their necks and the attitudes. Because I feel like we are, I went to school with predominantly white schools from junior high school all the way through college because I went to PWI. I feel like what I have learned, because the majority of us are raised in single parent homes. My mom was single since I was 5 years old. My grandmother wasn't single, but she might as well be because she ran that house. And I feel like we are raised to survive and to raise our families. And many white women are raised to be moms. And so it's a whole different, but I'm saying.
Yes, no, you're exactly right on that.
So I feel like, we are a little bit stronger and more aggressive in how we approach life.
Because the
That
stressors,
was
that goes to my point.
not-
You're not the only ones dealing with the stressors as a black man. No, a black woman is as well. We could be a great team together.
You know what? Black women are still very much in the struggle. So I feel as if we know. What's interesting is the bad things that are said about black women. Some of them, very much of them being true. Because I'm going to say this. My father died when I was young in a car accident. My mother raised me to be a woman who could support herself and take care of herself. I was not raised to be somebody's wife. So I have watched my white counterparts and the way they raise their children and what they've done. And they raised their kids to be wives, and they were raised to be wives. Even if they went to college, they were still raised to be wives. And so, are white women better prepared? I think yes, I feel good with that. I do. But are white men also prepared? Like they're being raised, you guys support a family one day. Are they better prepared to be husbands? And so what bothers me is that we all come from the same journey, this same path, this same issue, and black men actually seem to think that they are conducting relationships and participating in relationships the same as white men, but black women, what's wrong with y'all? And I think black women are like, yeah, you raggedy, you ain't doing nothing like a white man. And I'm telling y'all, because white people go, but we still gonna accept you, and black men and black men, we're gonna accept, because we all are all injured. You did not come out of the U.S. United States of America and not be injured and not have some things you don't have.
But black women always say, I don't need no man. I pay my own bills. I got my own car. Even Beyonce wrote a song like INDPN. You know about me, right? So what is that? What is that? Y'all don't need a man.
Who's y'all?
Black women.
I need a man. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I'm married to one.
I'm understand.
Lisa always knew that she loved her
You ain't making no money. I'm the one. The house in my name. My credit card. I'm just making a point though. I'm just making a point because that's the first thing.
But if somebody
I paid my own stuff.
it is survival. It is survival.
Beyonce wrote a song about it.
Right, but what I'm trying to say
From the times of slavery, the black man was treated so poorly that the black woman had to not only uplift him, but like families were split. Like you raised Lisa, and she wasn't even your kid, but she happened to be on that plantation. So the black woman is carrying the load of so many things. And so, okay, we have an attitude. Guess what? When you marry us, we still got your back. You know what I'm saying? We recognize all the things that are happening in the world to you. So if I marry a white man, he might love me, but he doesn't recognize all the struggle that I go through, my child goes through, my whole family has been through. So that's why I feel like, you know, I get a little irritated when black men are wearing these white women. Yeah, she might love you, but marry them.
Oh, I said marry them.
It is like an accessory.
They might love you and your little brown children that you have, because guess what? They brown children. They gonna come out brown, and they gonna have a struggle that she cannot relate to. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they leave.
I mean, my baby just went through something at HBCU, and Randy and Aaron had to jump on it because the HBCUs have turned to these, you know, we have a figurehead black man, but it's white people all mingled in there doing our children any kind of way. Randy and Aaron said, you won't do it, you know, and then they got right, but, you know, if you're married to a white woman, is she going to understand that struggle of your brown child at HBCU? And I say no.
Is she gonna be in Walmart looking at the black hair products, waiting for a black woman to come up and say, excuse me, my daughter's hair looks like yours. What do I get?
Let me tell you what I told my sons. Because, you know, they got this Angela Davis money. And I didn't want them to be scared. But they were also, at the same time, raised in a very white, whatever. And this is what I said to them. What I do know I did is I raised you to love yourselves. I have been talking about their black skin, I have done everything in my power to make them love themselves. I said, so if you decide to be with a white woman or anything other than a black woman, you better be doing it as a black man who is in love with himself and don't have no issues. So what I'm saying is, don't think that you, and I said, and you bet not grade on the curve. So don't grade on the curve. So don't bring me no white woman that you would not bring me a black woman with the same qualifications. Do not. So don't let me say, okay, you don't round it up for her because she's white, right? She's not. So if she walks into my house as a white, I'm gonna love who they love first of all because I love them and everything's gonna be essential with them.
That's foundation. Foundation.
Do I want my children to marry black women?
But you better know your mama is a rat.
100%. Because I want my black children to have someone who can guide my black grandchildren, to have someone who can get them right for this world, because they like all that. But if they didn't, if they like, first of all, if they like kept only dating white women, I would think that I had done something wrong. Because I'm like, if you're going the complete opposite, and you say attraction, physiologically we are attracted to sameness. That's fact. So that's fact. No, every we are attracted to sameness. So if I make the jump to say, actually no, you know, the giraffe says no, I want to hit this elephant right here. Not that we're different species, but what I'm trying to say is there is a jump there. This is just natural.
However, if they are around all white,
right,
then this thing comes in.
It's kind of like, okay, well, people meet and connect with the folks that they're around. And so you find a connection with the person, and they're around all white people. They have a lot of black girls. What's going to happen is you will end up with a white girl.
My child was the only black girl in the second grade in Atlanta, Georgia, Johns Creek. No lie.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm just saying.
They didn't want me to talk about Aaron.
Right. Tell the story, girl. She went all through elementary, secondary as probably the only black girl in a lot of classes. Guess what? From that, she said, you know what? I'm going to HBCU. She had a full ride to UVA. Did not take it. We went up there. She was like, I saw 13 black people in 2 hours.
So
no ma'am.
So let me ask you this: who did she take to the prom?
A black boy.
I'm just. If you have no other choices, you end up in this situation.
I'm gonna go back to my high school days.
Right.
Junior high, middle school, 8 black people in my graduating class, and all that kind of stuff. First girlfriend was white. Second girlfriend was white. So because they were all They're only like 2 fine black sisters around.
So they're rotating.
But yeah, they're rotating. But my situation was here's my brother. Okay, even though I dated the white girls, I had a preference.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
So the preference has always been there.
Yeah, I get it.
That's when I was asking y'all all things being equal before y'all jumped down my throat.
Oh no.
Okay, so I should have asked, what are you attracted to, but what is your preference?
Yeah.
So if your preference for someone who looks like you, then yeah, I've got no issues.
And you're gonna find
Like
out.
person, my
You
preference
attracted
is
to
Tito's, but you know, if they only have purples, guess what? You know what I'm saying? And I get what's available. Okay, when we only got purples, I'll have that.
Me and Aaron took our kids to the Bayou Classic, speaking of Louisiana, and I said, I don't know what your preference is, what you like as far as looks, but what I would say as a black woman, we got it all. Whatever you want, you wear it. If you got something, I said, black people coming on. You want? I said, all shades.
But if they're not all on the menu at the same time, when you're at the buffet and you only have a limited selection, it's kind of like it's a little different. I mean, you go to a single restaurant.
White women don't take as much work as black women.
Right out.
And listen, no, I ain't talking about that. White women, I believe white women, that's one of the questions in the deck about when I see white women, they are very comfortable presenting themselves. So black men don't have to work. Like, hello, the true story, my son is going on he's been in the summer in Costa Rica volunteering at a camp. I take him to the airplane, and it's a group he's traveling with. I was like, oh, some black people in there. 2 cute black girls, like cute little black girls, and there's some, there's some black people. I was happy. My son could barely sit his ass down because I'm walking around like, hi! What you think? Now the black girls are sitting because they've been trained by their mamas. Don't leave your ass. Don't leave your ass. So the black girls are sitting there. I want to be like, can you please just go over there and talk about it? And the white girl's like, what's your name?
They know if he's in this situation, he's probably not the average black boy to start with. They're just started. He's not the average black boy.
Which I need to know, like the option block.
He ain't the average black boy. So he come with something, right?
And we go back to flavor.
He got a status.
No, but are you saying their behavior is different because he wasn't the average black boy?
Yeah, they know.
They know. Their mamas can talk to them that. Their mamas can talk to them that.
And this is a true story. And I tell you this,
if you gonna get a black one, make sure you gonna. Yeah, exactly.
When my sons, going to high schools, they didn't have to, whatever. So I was in charge of Jack and Jill, so I started doing the dances. For I was in for a minute, we dropped out.
There we go.
We had a dance. So we had a dance. I was supposed to dance for the team. I watched my sons because I was a little whatever. So they got to have me play. Because the black girls were sitting back like this. Y'all might call it an attitude. They were taught, don't be no fast tail girl. So they're sitting back like this as I would. As I would now at 52 years old. I still, like when people tell me things that women do, I'm like, oh my God, so she just asked. I would never ask me that. So they're sitting back like this. And my sons are looking lost. Because they're used to going to their dances.
Yes.
And first of all, they don't dance in couples anyway. Y'all all just jump together, and then whoever gets close, they close in this and whatever. And so they don't have to work for that. And my girl's like, and I was like, oh my God, my sons have no play. I've got to work for that.
Sounds like her.
But it is a problem. And let me just say just one other thing I'm going to say is that her best friend, Aaron, was adopted and raised by a white family. And that's why I get really sick of black men with their excuses. And yeah, he dated everything. But what I'm saying is, he said I was new. That my preference and what I wanted to be with, and he tells his sons this, was the supreme woman, and that's a black woman. And this was from Midwestern white folks raising him.
Yep.
Okay. And people say, oh no, but I was raised in the suburbs, and so I don't understand black people. No, like he was raised by white parents, white grandparents, white sister, white sister, white everything.
White neighborhood.
I was raised, Kimberly knows where I'm from, white.
There were always black people in the whole neighborhood.
Right. So I'm saying though that I was also, but I was trained, and like them white folks trained that black boy to love himself enough to think that black was the best and the supreme, and I love that about him, and it is, and we are, right? But I'm just saying that people use the excuse. Culturally, is it different? Yes, my sons, and I would say my sons, when they went to prom, all white schools, essentially, they went and found some of my son's daughters, and like, and not because I told them, one took 2 white girls, and one took a black girl. But I'm saying, they were out there, and I would, like I'm supposed to, like, I would at least want a look. There's some black men who are not looking at black women.
But you exposed them with Jack and Jill and all that. They have some exposure, so they have a little bit more. I'm understanding they have a little bit more. They have a little bit more to choose from because now they have a little bit larger network as opposed to what they see in school.
But you got that.
But
mom.
if your mama's black, that's fine. I mean, but if you're not seeing no black girls in your class,
You're right.
You know,
it doesn't matter.
yeah.
I always go back to our children. You can do everything you want to in your 4 walls, but it doesn't matter always. We have black art, nothing but black art on the walls now. I'm getting family members because we move around a lot Air Force. Living on all white street and a white Air Force.
And y'all just see that.
And they're at homecoming every single year. We got black dolls, coloring books. I'm making sure. I take things and I color them just so they have it. And I'll never forget when my son walked in the house because his best friends, been his best friends since born. 3 white boys across the street. They had also moved the same city we lived there. He walked in the house. He was 5, I said, maybe 6. And he said, and he was just matter of fact one day, and we were doing something, and it wasn't serious to him. Patting his shoe, and he said, "Mom, when is my hair going to turn yellow?"
Yes.
And I mean, really, I was so done. I was like, all this black art, we spent all this money for all this art. It didn't come from Home Goods. And he's still, but it's who he's with. He leaves his work. It doesn't matter what it be. And I was like, doesn't even matter what we do inside the house. But he plays with boys with yellow hair every day. His teachers have yellow hair. I was like, oh God, I gotta roll my sleeves up. I got a lot more work to do.
Intention is the environment that you are doing it with intention and actually explaining.
Oh no, we had books with books we talk about. I mean, we had all the little bills we watched. Because I'm a talker.
But he didn't know that his hair wasn't gonna change color.
But it's not something I should explain to you.
He's 5 at that point.
He was like 6.
Okay.
No, we got much attention. And then he had generations of attention from the grandparents. I mean, they were very conscious of our parents were talking about. The kids grew up in this all right process.
If you're pro-black, then I think that you will be intentional about your approach to the love.
And let me say this.
Question.
Marriage
What does somebody pro-black do? What do they do?
Marriage is about also building black families and things. And
You going off the question?
No, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's why ultimately it is no. That's ultimately is no.
What does a pro-black person do? What do?
I'll tell you.
They uplift.
If you're pro-black, then that means that you're for the salvation.
That's it.
For the salvation of the race.
Now, that's the problem with us today. We have not honored the race. We've done things detrimental to the race.
Oh my God.
Right.
Based on
That's what I said.
Yes.
That is just articulate to yourself.
Okay.
Now you didn't translate that in a way. It's the reality.
You won't get a lesson on the right.
The reason we in the 6 we in with this. Yes. 90% of us do not respect the
Okay, y'all.
Yes.
Dude, seriously. Y'all gotta give me 30 seconds of emotion because I'm an emotional person. This is why I do truth. because we need to hear from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, all generations need to hear because he's
coming from a different perspective that we
and
our children really don't know.
Like our children, right. And don't get me wrong, I love to hear my children talk too because I need that. I mean, so the reason why I don't answer questions outrightly, although I ask you guys, is because I'm in these conversations, and so I'm always in the space of unknowingness and learning, and I'm always curious. And I tell people, the longer I live, the dumber I realize that I am, because I'm not sure about much. But what I do know, what I am sure about, is that these conversations are important for the salvation of our race. And thank you so much for being here. Yes. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was gonna be true.
White people work very hard to stay in control. White supremacy is alive and well, even for people who like you, want to hang out with you, want to fuck you.
Right.
I'm so sorry, sir.
What is a too short thing? Want to marry you, whatever, there still is a level of white supremacy.
And so when we passively try to convince ourselves that, oh, yeah, it's all good, whatever, like there's a whole system that has been designed. And to be honest with you, the hardest thing about what I've done is, because I study all day, every day, it is a real system of every single piece of everything that we do. And people will think that you're crazy, but it literally is designed to keep white people in control. And that's why I tell you, I'm not mad at white people, because if I was in control, I would Right? You're not going to hear me calling them bad names, because I want the same thing. Right? And so, but I'm telling you, every single system, from your housing to your schooling, to what you see on the media, to what you're chosen to play, what you're studying, like how they just block CRT in Florida. Because can you imagine if white people knew the history of this country and if black people knew their history? Like who would we raise if black people knew their history? If I wasn't sitting on the floor, even though my parents were down, looking like, dressed up like an Indian, what they called back in the day, and thinking that Christopher Columbus was our friend. Like if I, like who we would be. And so if there's not a full counter to that, I mean, I'm talking about an aggressive counter to that, then you can't. Because my kids always say to me, because my kids play basketball, and they get to the bench and they be like, do the dap. And my kids, they say the same thing. Oh, they're so cool. Their friends were so cool. I said, the dap that y'all do was Black Survival. That's how we knew who was that. I said, the music that they're playing in the background. Let me tell you about all the ways that black people, they try to suppress black people so we couldn't even excel in basketball. Like how they tried to say that we couldn't dunk. Like I want you to understand all these things. I made this, whatever decision you want to make, and I love you, Ryan. I love you, darling.
I'm going to be salty about it, though. I'm going to be salty.
I'm gonna be salty in the bedroom. I have to agree that I will love them.
Yes, I'm salty.
It's my issue. I'll keep it to myself.
I was salty. That's why we're gonna be like, but you're gonna do.
It's like big tanks, okay? Like 2,000. If you imagine like fermenters that they do beer in, but it's like fermentate. It's like that and then some, because they have these filtration things, and it's humongous. And I walked back there and I was like, oh my, what have I gotten into? But I was like, Mama,
You can do it.
if they can do it, you can do it.
They don't have no more brain cells than you do. Now I have to remind myself.
So that's what
They got no more brain cells than you do.
What if does reflecting on ancestors get you through stuff? Because I think my ancestors are like, we're gonna let you go, because I really rely on them like a lot.
We talk often.
Yeah, we talk often.
Mine didn't start until I walked on Tuskegee's campus, and it may sound corny like a commercial.
No, but it's real.
It's so real for me. Even when I return to this day, but I remember in 1987 when I arrived on that campus. You just taught the history because my dad made sure you knew where you were going and why it's important. Because he would not send $1 to a white school. He made that very clear to his children. And so I knew the history well, and I literally would think about it on my way to class, or when I wasn't even going to class, and I should have. literally, there were times I still talk to those ancestors that laid those bricks, and I can look at the bricks that their hands made.
Yes.
It's powerful to me to see.
Oh,